Hello learners, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. In this part we will discuss about Einstein's coefficient. So let us begin our topic, that is Einstein coefficients. Let N1 be the number of atoms per unit volume. Let N1 be the number of atoms per unit volume with energy E1 per unit volume with energy suppose E1, and N2 be the number of atoms per unit volume with energy suppose E2 and let us consider the small n. This small n, it represents the number of photons per unit volume at frequency nu such that the energy will be, that is the energy difference, we can say E2 minus E1, the energy difference between the two energy level, that is equal to h nu. Then the energy density of the photon, that is U of nu, can be written as, that is equal to nh nu. This is the energy density of the photons, that is for all photons we can write this will be nh nu, where small n represents the number of photons per unit volume. And also we have already discussed in our previous class that when this photon, it will interact with the atom, that is it may be for the absorption or it may be for the emission, the transition will occur. So let me write, when these photons interact with atoms, both upward means absorption, here I will write upward, that is when the upward transition occurs, that is upward means here absorption, and downward it means here emission, transition occur. That is for both absorption and emission, both absorption and emission transition. This, when this photon will interact with the atom, both absorption and emission will occur. So at the equilibrium condition, at equilibrium, the upward transition must be equal to the downward transition. The upward transitions must be equal to downward transition, okay. Now we will discuss on first upward transitions. Okay. So the stimulated absorption, if you can remember, in the previous classes we have already discussed about this upward transition. That is basically there are three phenomena we have discussed. That is first here stimulated absorption, and the next is spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission. So what are these three concepts? Let me tell you once again. So suppose there are two energy level system. One is your E1, that is your ground state, and another one is your suppose excited state. So this is your suppose E2 energy level. First of all, I will discuss about the stimulated absorption when the atom it is in the ground state. Okay, actually in practical case there are large number of atoms are possible in the ground state, but if you will consider for a single atom that is present in the E1 state, when it is given some amount of energy, that is h nu because of the photon, then by absorbing this amount of energy, this atom goes to the highest state, that is your E2 state, and this basically is known as the stimulated absorption. So by giving this amount of energy by the photon, so that is your called the stimulation occur, so that this atom it will absorb this amount of energy h nu and goes to the higher state, that is your E2. So that process is known as your stimulated absorption, and this is basically your upward transition. So in this upward transition, so the number of atoms present in this energy level E1, it will depend on this, that is this stimulated absorption. It will depend on the number of particles available in this state E1, and also for this absorption, that is the for the stimulation, we need this photon of amount of energy h nu. So that also we can say that it will depend on the density of the photon. Okay, so now let me first write for the upward transition, that after I will discuss about the downward transition. So here in case of the upward transition, or we may write this is for you stimulated absorption, the stimulated absorption rate, it depends on the number of atoms available, in the lowest energy state, as well as the number of atoms available in the lowest energy state, and the energy density of the photon, and the energy density of the photons. Okay, photons. So this is your stimulated absorption. It depends, the rate of the stimulated absorption, it depends on the number of atoms available in the lowest energy state as well as the energy density of the photon. So simply I can write the stimulated absorption per unit time, per unit volume, stimulated, let me change the color. Since here I am writing stimulated absorption rate, so that is the stimulated absorption per unit time, per unit volume. Stimulated absorption per unit time, per unit volume, it will be directly proportional to, I can write it in mathematical form, it will be directly proportional to the N1, that is the number of particles or the number of atoms available in the ground state or the lower energy state, and also it will be directly proportional to the density of the photon, that is your U of nu. Okay, so if I will remove this proportionality constant, so simply I can write this will be equal to, for this I can write simply this will be equal to some constant, that is B12, because why this is here I am writing B12, because in this case if I will show you, suppose these are your two energy state, one is your E1 and another one is your E2. So since the atom is moved, the atom will jump from this E1 state to E2 state. So here the transition will be, so this proportionality constant that I am writing here, so from one state to two state. So that's why here I am representing this as B12, because since here it is the upward transition, that is from the lowest state to the highest state. So B1 to 2 state. Okay, so this will be B1 to N1 into U of nu. Okay, so where this B12, it is the Einstein's coefficient of stimulated absorption, where B12, this is the Einstein's coefficient of stimulated absorption. Okay, this is the stimulated absorption. Now we will see for the downward transition. Now we will discuss about the downward transition. Now again, let us see here what will happen in case of the spontaneous emission and stimulated emission. If you have not seen the last lecture of that is your spontaneous emission, stimulated emission, and as well as your stimulated absorption, I'll share this link in this description box. So let us see in case of the spontaneous emission. So first of all, by absorbing this amount of energy, that is your h nu, the atom, it will goes to the higher state, that is your suppose E2 state. Now the atom is already in this state, suppose the higher state. Two things can be happen. It can be spontaneously, or I can say that since the lifetime at this state is your 10 power minus 8 second, since it is very short time, so it will just try to jump to the E1 state by emitting amount of energy, that is your H. So this is the first case, that is called your spontaneous emission. So no additional amount of energy is needed to jump from the E2 state to E1 state. Since its lifetime is very short, that is your 10 power minus 8 second, so it will jump to the lower state by emitting the amount of radiation, that is your H. And there will be another process, that is, this is suppose E2 state and this one is suppose E1 state. Now after absorbing the atom some amount of energy H, it is in the state suppose E2. And also here the lifetime is 10 power minus 8 second. Again, if I will give some additional amount of energy, that is h nu, the photon energy, that is h nu, it will fall on this atom. Then what will happen? It will not go to the highest state, rather it will jump to the lowest state by emitting amount of energy h nu, that is because of this energy difference, that is E2 minus E1, that is h nu, as well as the photon that is given, that is the amount of energy it has been taken, that is also been radiated in the form of energy, that is your h nu. Okay. So there are two photons will be emitted in case of the stimulated emission. Okay. In case of the spontaneous emission, no additional amount of energy is given, so that only photon, that is h nu amount of energy is released. And also you can see here in this both spontaneous as well as your stimulated emission, these are your downward transition. Okay, these are your downward transition. So now in this case we will study about in the downward transition we will see spontaneous as well as the stimulated emission. And also you can see here in this spontaneous emission case, if I will say in the spontaneous emission case, it will only depend on the number of atoms that is available in this E2 state. Suppose you are N2, the number of atoms are available in the E2 state. So the spontaneous emission, it will only depends on the N2, that is the number of atoms available. But in case of the stimulated emission, since we are giving some amount of energy, that is your h nu here, so in this case I can say that it will depend on the number of atoms that is your available in this state, that is your E2 state, the number of atoms, suppose your number of atoms per unit volume, this is suppose N2. And also it will depend on the energy density of the photon, since the amount of energy is given to this atom, that is on the highest state, so also it will depend on the energy density of the photon, that is U of nu. Okay. So in the first case I will write in the downward transition, the first one is the spontaneous emission rate. The spontaneous emission rate, it depends on the number of atoms present, in the excited state, okay. That is also we can say the number of spontaneous emission transition per unit time, per unit volume, it will be directly proportional to, since this is the spontaneous emission, we can say that this will be only directly proportional to the number of atoms available, that is your suppose N2. So because of this proportionality symbol, simply I can write this will be equal to A21 into N2. Since here the transition, these are your downward transition, so for that I am writing here the another coefficient A, that is your A21. For the spontaneous, here simply I am writing A, and since this is your downward transition, I am writing here 2 1. Okay, from the 2 state, this is your 2 state to 1 state, that's why I am writing 2 to 1 transition, that is your downward transition. Where this A to 1, it is called, this is the Einstein's coefficient of spontaneous emission. Okay, now we will discuss on the stimulated emission. So the next point is the stimulated emission rate. It depends on the number of atoms available in the excited state, as well as the energy density of the photon. Since it is the stimulated process, so here the additional amount of energy you have to give. So this is it will depend on the number of atoms available as well as the energy density of the photons. So we can write the stimulated emission rate or the number of stimulated emission per unit volume per unit time, this will be directly proportional to the number of atoms available, that is your N2, as well as it will be directly proportional to U of nu, that is the energy density. So combining these two, if I remove this proportionality symbol, simply I have to write the proportionality constant B, that is because of the stimulated, whether it is absorption or emission. For the stimulation process I am writing here B, and since it is the downward transition, so that will be B21. Okay, so this is B21 N2 U nu. Simply you have to remember, for the stimulated case, here I am writing B coefficient, whether it is absorption or emission. In case of the absorption, here you have to write, since the absorption is taking place for the lowest state to the highest state, so simply in that case I am writing B12, but in the emission case, so the downward transition occur, that is from the highest state to the lowest state, that will be B21. So here this B21 is the where B21, this is equal to the Einstein's coefficient for stimulated emission. Okay, stimulated emission. So this is your upward transition and downward transition. But at the equilibrium condition, when the system is in equilibrium, so the upward transition will be equal to the downward transition. So let me give the equation number. This is suppose equation 1, and this is your equation 2, and this is your suppose equation 3. Okay, so the equation 1 will be equal to equation 2 plus equation 3. That is the total upward transition will be equal to the total downward transition. So let me write, if the system is in equilibrium, so the upward transition, then the upward transition is equal to downward transition. That is, if I will substitute the value here, that is equation 1 will be equal to equation 2 plus equation 3. So for the upward transition, if I will write, this will be, for the upward I have to write B12, that is the stimulated absorption here. So B12 N1 U nu, that will be equal to, for the downward transition you have to consider both the stimulated emission and the spontaneous emission. So this will be A21 for the spontaneous one, I am writing A21 N2 plus B21 N2 U of nu. Okay. So if I will take this term to the left hand side, then this will becomes, taking U of nu common, writing directly, this will be B12 N1, this will be minus B21 N2, which is also equal to A21 N2. I can write like this. This will be A21 N2. Now from this equation I can write U of nu, that will be equal to A21 N2 divided by this total bracketed term B12 N1 minus B21 N2. This is our expression. Now again, if I will take common B21, I can write, so this will be, let me write directly over here, this will be, suppose A21 divided by, I am taking common B21 here. So here this will be 1, and again if I will divide this N2 term in both denominator and the numerator, so this will be simply, let me write here, dividing B21 into both numerator and denominator. Okay, both numerator and denominator. So we will get 1 divided by, here you will write B12 divided by B21, since B21 is divided, so simply here I am dividing B21 N2, and also here I am dividing B21 N2. So this is the simple expression. Okay, so this N2 here get cancelled, so the term remaining will be A21 by B21 will be present here. Okay, now here from this expression, if you write B12 divided by B21, this will be N1 by N2. So this will be B12 divided by B21 into N1 by N2 minus, this will be B21 get cancelled, N2 get cancelled, so this will be 1. From this expression all this term get cancelled, so this will be equal to 1. So from the Maxwell-Boltzmann statistics, let me write MB statistics. From Maxwell-Boltzmann, that is MB statistics, we can write statistics N1 by N2, that will be equal to the ratio between the two, that is equal to N0 exponential minus E1 by Kt divided by, for this N2 I can write, this will be N0 exponential minus E2 by Kt. This N0 get cancelled, so this will be simply exponential E2, this term will be E2 minus E1 whole divided by Kt. So E2 minus E1, the energy difference between the two energy level, you know, that is your h nu. So simply here I can write, this will be exponential h nu divided by Kt. This is the value of N1 by N2. So simply substituting this value here, I will get the value of U of nu d nu, that is, sorry, U of nu, that will be equal to, therefore U of nu can be written as equal to A21 by B21 into 1 by B12 divided by B21. In place of N1 by N2, I will write exponential h nu by Kt, and here this is minus 1. Simply this term I am writing it here. So this is the final expression for the U of nu. So simply I am giving it the equation number. Suppose here I am giving the equation number. Let me write, this is your 1. Okay, 1 or whatever you have given the equation number before. So according to that you have to just give the equation number. Or this is your 1, 2, 3, or this is suppose your 4. Okay, this is suppose your equation number 4. And this equation, it is consistent with the black body radiation. So let me write this equation. It must be consistent. It must be consistent with the black body radiation. With the black body radiation. So from that I can write, from Planck's radiation formula, Planck's radiation formula we can write U of nu will be equal to Planck. This is your Planck's radiation formula. U of nu equal to 8 pi h nu cube divided by c cube, 8 pi h nu cube divided by c cube into 1 divided by exponential h nu by kt minus 1. This is the Planck's radiation formula. Now if I will compare, this is equation suppose 5. Now if we will compare this equation 4 with the equation 5, here you can see this A21 by B21, the value of this coefficient is nothing but your 8 pi h nu cube by c cube. Okay, again this is your exponential h nu by kt, and here also exponential h nu by kt, and here is minus 1, and here also minus 1. So here the coefficient of this exponential h nu by kt in the equation 4, this will be B12 by B21, and here in the equation 5 this will be 1 into this much. So the value of B12 divided by B21, that will be equal to 1. So if I will compare, so if I will write here, so comparing equation 4 and 5, what we will get, A21 by B21 will be 8 pi h nu cube by c cube, and B12 by B21 will be equal to 1. So now let me write it here, comparing equation 4 and 5, comparing equation 4 and 5 we will get A21 divided by B21, that will be equal to 8 pi h nu cube divided by c cube. This is your constant term. Okay, and another one is your B12 divided by B21, that is equal to 1, or simply we can write B12 that is equal to B21. This is your B21. And what is this B12? B12 is the upward transition. Upward transition means stimulated absorption. Okay, 1, 2 represents the upward, 2 1s means downward, but B represents, B is your for the stimulated one. B is for the stimulated, and A represents the for the spontaneous. Okay, so since B12 equal to B21, so simply I can say that the stimulated absorption rate, that will be equal to the stimulated emission. Now we will discuss on the significance of the Einstein's coefficients. Okay, let me give the equation number here. This is suppose equation 6, and this is your equation 7. Now I will explain this. This is equation 6 and equation 7. Now I will explain this, the significance. What is the significance of the Einstein's coefficient? So first of all, this equation 7, that is B12 equal to B21, this represents, I will write the equation equation 5 for the non-degenerate energy level, for non-degenerate energy levels, the stimulated emission rate is equal to the stimulated is equal to the stimulated absorption rate at the equilibrium condition. At the equilibrium condition. Okay. At the equilibrium condition. I hope you all know what is the non-degenerate state. In the quantum case, you must have acquainted with this term, that is the for the non-degenerate as well as the degenerate level. So in the, or we can say that, or in presence of electromagnetic radiation, in presence of electromagnetic radiation, the probabilities of stimulated absorption and stimulated emission in atoms are equal. Okay. Now the equation 6. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the equation 6. So the equation 6, it represents, the equation 6 implies the ratio of spontaneous emission coefficient means A21. Okay, spontaneous emission coefficient to stimulated emission means your B21. Stimulated emission coefficient there is varies with frequency as lambda cube. That is, the larger the energy, between the two energy state, between the two states, that is E2 minus E1 equal to h nu, the more likely is the spontaneous emission compared to the stimulated emission. So let me tell you, if you see this expression, that is A21 by B21 equal to 8 pi h nu cube by c cube. This A21, it represents the spontaneous emission, and this B21, that is 21 means the downward transition, and B represents the stimulated one. So in case of the spontaneous and the stimulated emission, the ratio between the two, it will be directly proportional to the nu cube. That is when the energy difference between the two energy level, that is your suppose E2 and E1, the energy difference between the two level, that is E2 minus E1, that is h nu, this value, the difference is when it is more or the larger the difference, the much more likely is the spontaneous emission as compared to the stimulated emission. Since nu will be more, when nu will be more, A21 will be more, since it is directly proportional. A21 is directly proportional to nu, or we can say that B21 will be inversely proportional to the nu cube. So when the energy difference will be more, that is the value of nu is more, in that case the spontaneous emission will be more as compared to that of the stimulated emission. Okay, so this is the basic difference. This is the significance of the Einstein's coefficient, as well as we have discussed about this B12 equal to B21, that is the stimulated absorption that will be equal to the stimulated emission in case of the non-degenerate energy level, in the equilibrium condition. When these are in the equilibrium condition, In that case, the stimulated absorption rate that is equal to the stimulated emission rate. So this is all about the Einstein coefficient and the significance of the Einstein's coefficient. I hope everything will be clear to you. Still, if you have any doubt, can ask me in the comment section. Just try to solve some question based on this equation 6 and 7 so that you will get a clear idea about this topic. That's all for today. Thank you.